Hello and welcome to Stories, the True and the Fiction. The podcast that revolves around one central theme, stories, and the people that tell them. We'll talk about movies, TV shows, video games, historical events, and weird news headlines. There's really no topic we won't touch. But it doesn't stop there. If you've got a story, something funny or random that may have happened to you or a friend, send it to thetrueandthefictional@gmail.com. Until then, it's story time.
My fellow citizens, stories, both the true and the fictional. After my mandatory suspension and time off, after reflection, I come before you with a heavy heart and deep sense of remorse. I must confess to an extra fanboy affair. It has been brought to my attention that in recent episodes before my justified suspension from this show, that I mentioned Jenna Ortega more times than I mentioned my true, undying love for Kat Graham. I cannot express how sorry I am for the pain and hurt I have caused this podcast. I know that you place a lot of trust in me, and I've let you down. And I understand, as an elected host, I am held to a higher level of accountability, and my actions have not met that standard. I take full responsibility for my actions and the pain that I have caused. I want to apologize to my fellow hosts, especially the single boy choice and legendary author J.A. Bryden, who has never matched a single day in his life, and to my proud brother, Final Fantasy lover, Ryan, who has taken precious time away from FF16 to hear my apology. Yes. I would also like to apologize to our beloved sponsor, Rebecca Cassells of the Rising Dawn series, now available on Amazon and where all good books are sold. And of course, to my true love of my imagination, Kat Graham. I know that my behavior has fallen short of expectations. And to all expectations that we have as the one who hosts a podcast. And I promise you that I will do everything in my power to ensure that you are mentioned at least 5 times an episode. Thank you for your time today. And welcome to Stories, the True and the Fictional. I am, of course, your elected host official, back from his mandatory suspension, Chris Park. I'm, of course, here with the author, creator, legendary writer, man who's never backed a single time in his life and is above us all, both purity, spiritually. J.A. Bryden, how are you going, sir?
I'm going great. It's interesting that your press conference didn't have any questions, because usually, there's questions.
No, it's a statement.
But yeah, because I have a just one question.
Right, absolutely. Are
you supposed to be, mentioning Kat Graham 5 times or mentioning 5 times? Because I just can't keep up.
Well,
it's.
Obviously, I will need to be mentioning Kat Graham multiple times in a single episode. The main thing for you is just because it's an easy pun, and obviously, like I said, I remembered I had to do an episode at 7:26. We are now recording at 7:30. I had to work with what my brain gave me.
So basically, insert same joke that you've used the last 3 times you're on.
Actually,
you're slipping. No, you have, but you're slipping. You're slipping, True. Mr. Park.
Again, and this is why I served a mandatory suspension of 4 episodes, because obviously, again, as someone who's brought on as voice talent, and I have not lived up to my expectations and standard, the suspension was warranted, and I fully, I fully accepted the suspension, the 4-week suspension, with all humility, grace. We all know that Michael Jordan didn't go do baseball because he wanted to do baseball. We all knew that that was a secret suspension from the league because of his gambling. I, like Michael Jordan, have served my illegal gambling suspension, and now I am back. I'm still wearing the 45. That's why some of the jokes are repeated. But trust me, when I suit up again in number 23, you'll know. You'll know J.A. Bryden. We're, of course, joined by a legendary man himself. an expert in saving kittens and fighting gods. We're, of course, joined by the expert, the man himself, the man who wants to grind a house into stone, expert, Ryan D. Haig. How are you going, sir?
Oh, very tired, but very, very, very good. And can I just mention, it was very thoughtful of your apology and your noting of the suspension being off for 3 to 4 weeks. Didn't happen to coincide with the release of Diablo 4 on the PS5 at all. To bring that up,
coincidental suspension. It's fine. Coincidental suspension.
Yes, but yeah, doing very good. Spent the last 2 days in Fantasyland and absolutely loving it.
Absolutely. And speaking of fantasies, if you enjoy a good story, if you enjoy good romance, and if you enjoy wanting to feel that the world with the rising inflation and rising interest rates and crushing government, watching government stupidity on a daily basis, and you just want to escape, we're a world where people can become werewolves and true love truly does exist in the most erotic way possible, then you need to go down to the bookstore on Amazon.com, because obviously you can't actually go down to the bookstore, and buy the Rising Dawn series by Rebecca Cassells. Now, Jamie, you yourself now are a legendary author of note. How has it been? How has the whirlwind romance with the author world treating you, sir?
Oh, reasonably well. I'm still waiting to see because I have a publisher. There's no way for me to see how many books I've actually sold.
I'm pretty sure you can just call them and ask them. Like
but at the same time, I think we get paid 3 months, every 3 months or something like that.
Quarterly, yep, makes sense.
Yeah, and I'll find out then. But personally, out of my own collection, I've sold 30 odd, 40 odd. So not bad. I did give away a few for free on the weekend.
Of course, that makes sense. Promotions, of course.
Promotions, and giving it to your hero. That was a bit,
Yeah, I really appreciate that copy, Jamie. Thanks very much for that.
Yeah,
I'll give it a good read when I get
a good read. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yes. No, I went to Supanova last weekend and met Kevin Eastman, and I wasn't, I'm in an orange, should I? And then I was just in the line with all these fans and like, do it, man, do it. And I was just like, all right, okay, I'll do it. And then he got me to sign it. So,
look, a man of the people.
Yeah, no, so it was weird because, and it makes me realize that he's the kind of person that actually loves his fans and that, because if he could have just taken it and gone, oh, thanks, and just thrown it away or whatever. But if he's got you to sign it, then it's got he's gonna hang on to it.
Or throw it away discreetly.
Discreetly.
But again, that also makes him a good. A good celebrity. I mean, I very much enjoyed your birthday. Although, having said that, when you said you want to go do something on my birthday, I didn't understand that meant come watch me stand in line for 8 hours. But again, that was just purely my misunderstanding on what a birthday is, rather than hanging out with your friends and celebrating. No, it's standing in line. That's what a birthday is.
In hindsight, I very well go the 2 days, because I just had 4 things to do. And it literally took me all day. Like, if I didn't get the VIP for everything Ninja Turtles, I wouldn't, I would have missed out on.
You'd still be in that line for Kevin
Eastman. Man, Kevin Eastman's line was longer than Alyssa Milano.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
but also that's also like the audience. Like, why would Alyssa Milano think she's into like?
Yeah.
Well, the only nerd thing she's been in is Charmed.
Yeah.
And more people know Ninja Turtles than they know Charmed.
No, Kevin Eastman was definitely I'd say the most popular. Very closely followed by Tyler Superman.
How long did you have to actually wait in Kevin Eastman's line for?
Kevin Eastman for the autograph, I think it was just over an hour.
Okay.
And I was VIP.
Yep.
But I think most of that was because there was a guy in front of me who was like a member of the fan club as well, and he just walks over the table with like 14 things for him to sign. It just goes boom, boom, boom. Nothing personalized, and you just know he's going to sell it,
Yeah. But here's the thing. Here's the thing, Ryan. Let me put it this way. We were there from about 9 a.m. to about 5. I saw Jamie 3 times during the day. And it was when we first got there, when he came back from because then he ran off inside. He just ran off, like just literally ran off.
Yeah.
The second time was when he came back for like his Kevin Eastman things, and he was basically going, I gotta, he was panicking. I was like, Jamie, it's fine. Calm down. It's
I didn't
fine.
want to miss out.
Fine, you're gonna make it. And then the second time I saw him was, I think he sat down and had a donut and a coffee to sort of like try to keep him going. Then we showed him an amazing signed autograph by Michael Shanks, and then and then I realized I should get Jamie to buy this because he doesn't know it now. But if he doesn't buy it, he'll regret it. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow. He'll live. But maybe one day when he's lying in his bed, he would want to think back for the chance of freedom. Da, 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 da. Braveheart references aside, you don't see a lot of Michael Shanks signatures around, and it was of a beautifully mint condition Stargate card with the signature. There was also Sam Carter as well, and some other random guy, the Teal'c's friend. Like, it was great.
Teal'c's friend,
extra number 4.
Yeah, but the crazy thing was, Jamie was so close to missing out because when he came back, all the Stargate cards were gone.
Ooh.
I don't know, maybe the guy put it aside for him, but whoa, he came close to missing out. Like, it was just that. We also saw a really cool store that had selling animation cells, like the original, like actual original animation cells. Awesome. And there was an amazing one on the back wall where there was Shredder pointing at Krang. Ooh. And I was like going, sick. So I sent Jamie a picture. Say they got classic Turtles thing. But he was in line, so he missed out on all. The good. And apparently, the guy even told him all the good ones just sold. And so, classic turtle cells.
Just so you know, if you want to understand how good our friendship is, Ryan, I was in line getting a Tyler Hoechlin autograph for you.
Aww.
Hence, I missed out on awesome turtle stuff.
I am sorry. I'm truly forever in your debt.
But I even talked you up to the dude.
No,
and I said how you said that he was the most accurate TV Superman, and that you love him as Superman, and all stuff. And he's like, tell him I really appreciate that. He's awesome. And I also because when you get to the table, there's an assistant that's going pick your. This is probably one of the reasons why the lines never move, is because there's all these pictures, and you got to pick one, and people are like, I don't know. And I just walked up there and went, I have been told to get the most sexiest picture. And then she was like, Then the assistant was going,
I do appreciate the sacrifice.
You see, this is what's wrong with the society. Jamie can go up to that and say, give me the most sexy picture. And everyone's like, ooh, let me find one. What if I walked up into Lois Lane's line and said the same thing? How do you think that would have gone down? Do you think that might have been a slightly different reaction?
I think
the different reaction is because you walked up to that line completely naked. Wearing a top hat and nothing else. So that's why they had you escorted from the premises.
I think it comes on the delivery. Like if I implied it was for a woman, or then that'd probably be more accepted than if I want the most sexiest one.
Okay. And the only reason I would sound like a creep is because I would be nervous to meet her, and that's why I saw she was there. I actually debated long and hard if I was also going to get an interview, an autograph, because I do actually like her from both obviously the Superman show, but also she was in Grimm.
Yeah, she was.
And I thought that they really did her character in Grimm dirty.
Well, didn't they kill her off a lot?
They killed her off, and they turned her evil, and am I going? Excuse me.
I think
Like,
I think you would have handled the photos better because there was no lingering. It was like, let's get this done, bam, bam, bam,
but
sort of thing. I did make them laugh though.
but is it like a shoulder touch on the shoulders acceptable? A hug? Can
Oh,
I
no.
squeeze a butt?
look.
Like, what's the rules?
I posted on my Instagram, but there was a big sign there when you get to the photo booth that said no hugs.
Well, then what's the point?
And then I was just like, screw that, and I went in there and I went, time for a super sandwich. and I hugged them both, one arm around each, and they laughed.
They didn't seem awkward. They didn't seem like it was awkward or anything.
Wait, is there a photo of you hugging Superman and Lois?
Yeah.
And you've not shown me.
It's a side hug.
I thought we were friends.
It is one. I thought you followed me on my socials. Two, I showed you. I swear I showed you the photo.
No, I thought we were. Like again,
oh my! Maybe I showed you the Kevin
is unraveling. Oh, jeez,
I hugged. Albeit it's a side hug. I side hugged Kevin Eastman, and I double side hugged Superman and Lois.
But by the laws of transference, you've hugged them naked.
Well, no, because I didn't.
No, because your clothes have hugged their clothes. Their clothes have hugged their naked body. By the laws of transference, you've had a partial three-way with the Superman and Lois, and you're not telling me this. Is it an affront to our friendship?
Well, maybe because I disappoint you in a million other ways. I just thought it would kind of build up.
You disappointed me because you are my son, and I want the best for you, and I want you to succeed.
I thought we were a married couple. Thank you very much. We were talking about this the other day. We bicker like married couples.
Right. We're more married couple because we were friends first. That then obviously built the romance over time.
Yes,
like you should do with most relationships. I think a good relationship works when you're friends first. There's no sexual feelings into it, but they come over time. They develop obviously.
Yeah.
As Ryan can attest, when he might not have liked Henry Cavill when he first saw him, but over time the feelings built up, and then
No, from the moment I saw him, it was on the first time.
So to sum up Supanova, lots of lines. I spent almost a week's wages. Thank you, Chris.
But just on the Supanova thing, there were so many cool costumes.
Oh yeah,
and
I saw that Iron Man costume, the guy with the Iron Man costume. That looked
pretty cool.
And there's so many and I think there's a general rule, and I'm pretty sure it's on the website. If you're in costume, expect people to sort of want to take photos.
Yeah.
There were some people actually. I thought there was a cool costume. This girl, I didn't want to take a photo with her because I thought it'd be weird. Then I realized she actually was there at a booth promoting something, and so you're meant to take photos with her. And I was like, oh damn, whoops. But she was wearing the full Deborah for Lilith costume and was perfect, absolutely just perfect. And I was going, I don't want to be one of those guys who walks up to the hot girl and be like, can I get a photo?
That's all they expected. But I really like Geralt. There's a guy, the Witcher. But video game Witcher, man, he was perfect. He had the yellow eyes, everything. It's just
nice.
Damn, the Ghostbusters dudes were really cool.
They were very good. I saw two cat women, and I also saw one black cat from Spider-Man that was just absolutely spotting on.
She randomly you may like this post because I'm looking at everything Supanova. She's actually pretty pro.
Okay.
Oh, because that costume was I was going, holy
yeah.
That was I was going, holy cow,
but apparently on Sunday it was 50% Spider-Mans and Spider-Gwens and Miles Morales's and 50% Ninja Turtles. Sunday was the day to.
But I only saw 5 Harley Quinns, which was I was expecting to see a lot more than 5, but I only saw 5 Harley Quinns.
When was the last Harley Quinn?
Been a while.
Movie,
yeah, but I mean, generally speaking, if you're somewhat attractive and blonde and your boyfriend drags you to one of these things, that's the go-to costume. That's
and I'm spewing I didn't get a photo. There was a dude dressed as Heath Ledger's Joker.
Okay.
Like exactly the same. Same makeup job. Is carrying a card around with him.
Nice. Now, so overall, Jamie, if you were to go back to Supanova, would you go back and send in lines?
Yes, but over 2 days. I would get I might get an Airbnb or a hotel in there, stay overnight and do do one day, maybe one day of intense in lines, and the next day just chilling out,
taking it all in.
taking it all in. Because I
Where was it?
miss.
Was it at Homebush?
Homebush, yeah.
Yes, yeah, it was at Homebush
Okay,
in
cool,
the
yeah.
dome.
The dome,
But
yeah.
also I've noticed, because I've been to Comic-Con, and Comic-Con is ran so much better than Supanova. Like,
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Like, I went up to the information desk and said, I got a Cowabunga pass. They said to pick it up, and they weren't very clear. And then she's like looking at the poster going, I don't know. You know, like, just didn't.
And also the line system to get into the place was really weird.
Stupid. It was so stupid.
Like, that made no sense. Like, we got in and then we just stand there, and then like they let a bunch of people in, and I was going, why are we standing here?
We looped. We had to walk all the way down, halfway down the building, and then come back and loop back around. We're like, going, why couldn't we just go that way?
Anyway, it was.
At this stage, I prefer Comic-Con, because it's virtually the same thing, just ran better.
Yeah. Yep. And also, what I've heard, which I was like morbidly offended at, and the reason why I didn't purchase anything, because actually, like, I was like it actually enraged me to the point of madness.
What, price increases?
I heard one of the vendors there talking on, and the guy was like, "Oh, what's the merch situation?" He goes, "Oh, you know, yeah, we're pretty like we've done so many shows in like we've done things in a row. You know, we started all the good stuff in Melbourne, yeah, but you know, Sydney shit, so I like Melbourne better. Anyway, so I was like going, so I bought nothing from any vendor at Supanova, because I'm going, well then, if you don't want my business, then I will not give you my business.
Was that just one vendor, or was it just like
there was a few vendors, and they all were nodding when they were talking about that, and so obviously they had gone there and sold all of their good merch at Melbourne Supanova, and they just packed whatever the fuck they wanted, and like, Sydney gives a shit. And so I was like, you know what?
Wow.
You know what? Yeah. One, if your city is so good, Melbourne, why do you all keep coming to live in Sydney? You
exactly.
Oh, and Queensland.
Oh, yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, Melbourne's so good. Then why aren't you there? Why aren't you there? Then if Melbourne is so amazing.
That's what I've always said when I see a Melbourne or a Victorian car driving through New South Wales, and the license plate says Victoria, the place to be.
Then
I'm like, why aren't you there?
And even more so, I remember during the COVID-ish things, during the coof,
the lockdowns.
Yeah, I remember like there was someone on Facebook who was going this big epic rant. She goes, she was like going, oh, you know, me and my boyfriend are from Melbourne, and we escaped the lockdown. So I was like, oh, so you're already admitting that you broke your little special rules to get out of Melbourne to come to Sydney. And she goes, I went to a bar, and there was a big sign. There was a sign saying "No Melbournians." Oh, I'm so triggered. And then someone posted, "We've always had that sign." It's like, that wasn't a new sign. Yeah. We've always had that sign. I'm going, yes.
Was that when Victorians were allowed in New South Wales, but New South Wales people weren't allowed in Victoria? It was just some of the weirdest.
Yeah. They couldn't leave the state, and they wanted to come here anyway, because obviously we weren't locked down as hard as they were. So they came. They were all escaping to come to New South Wales. And they go, oh, the sign's saying the Victorians. They're going, no, we've always had that sign up. That bar has always had that sign. That wasn't because of that. And that's the one time I saw an Australian ad where I fucking like. I normally don't like Australian ads or things, but there was one Australian ad where I was like actually laughing, realistically.
Or was that the copper pulling over the Victorian?
No, it was a sports ad where where the AFL Grand Final was going to be, and then like they're going, oh, Adelaide, can you host it? And the guy was pretending to be the city goes, oh no, I can't because blah blah blah, and they're going around that, and they said, Sydney, can you host it? And the person being Sydney goes, yeah, but no Victorians. And they go, oh, because of the lockdown. He goes, what lockdown? I'm like going, yeah. I'm like, yes, that is true.
I love that. Yeah, there was some other comedy skit at the time of a copper pulling over.
I saw that one. That was hilarious. Yeah,
a Victorian trying to cross the border.
Yeah, trying to get into Sydney. Yeah,
and he's got like a beret on, and he's got a weird latte drink or whatever.
Now,
yeah.
Speaking of regional anger and hate, Ryan's laughing because he knows where I'm going with this. Ryan, you and I have been hurt before. both in relationships and also by video game publishers who make shit games.
Yes.
We've had we recall our youth of Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, even 10.
Yeah.
I'll even take 10.
10?
Even
Yeah.
I'll
10
take
was the
10.
last
Even
good
though
one.
Titus's laugh of ha 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 ha,
Yeah.
I do want to punch him in the face.
Yeah.
We've also experienced 15.
Mm.
We've also experienced heartache, loss,
Mhm.
and some tarnishing of the brand. But we have been witness to true and utter delight. To quote Marshall from How I Met Your Mother, where he said, "This is God speaking to us through food. This is God speaking to us through video games that I'll eventually know I will have to fight," said God, after saving the kittens. As all good RPGs, we've been playing, of course, Final Fantasy 16, and I have never seen a company so confident in their product, where they say, "Here's the prologue." It's not a demo we've sliced up to make it, to show you anything. It's like, here's the game.
Yep.
Play it. We know you will. And boy, has this game, Ryan, what has been your experience so far in the? I think it's 7. Jamie's getting a book because he's but we bought it for him. He'll play it, and Jamie, when you play it, when you like it, I would. I'm not gonna enforce a suspension like you did on me, because because you're right. I was unfaithful.
I run the podcast.
Yeah, I was unfaithful in my heart to Cat Graham. So and and a warranted suspension. I get that. But I want the apology. Same thing. All right, Ryan, what's been your experience so far in Final Fantasy 16?
You have until I finish this comic book.
Pure and utter enjoyment. There's been moments where I've literally yelled out loud, gasped.
There's so many moments.
To quote our very, very close friend Mike, there's been a lot of There's been honestly, it's everything you want in a Final Fantasy game to be. You've got you've got and you've got what they're calling Ekions, which are essentially, for people familiar with Final Fantasy 7, it's a summons. So, and it is essentially the same. Like, you've still got Ramu, Odin,
Shiva,
Ifrit, Phoenix, Shiva, all of those. Look, I was a bit worried about I was one of the people that was a small bit worried about the combat system until I found out it was done by the guys from Devil May Cry, and then I thought, okay, no worries. Now one of my ultimate goals is to see the highest amount of stagger damage I can get on an enemy. So far, I'm up to 8,054 damage on stagger.
There is a great what you do is obviously you have Garuda's power right now. Again, we'll talk about you've seen powers in the trailer of Garuda, so that's not a spot, but I won't go too much past that sort of point. You always want to use the claw attack to on a bigger enemy, because that gives you that initial jump point. Then you activate. I normally go with gouge when I'm in the air.
Gouge,
and then obviously I charge up my flame sword, but then I don't do the flame attack. I then go into the downward swing, the downward slash attack, and because the sword's on fire, it counts as a green downward slash, and then it does additional damage. This is how you really get those damage numbers ticking well. What's your favorite combo?
Yeah, so at the moment, I'm with the Phoenix power. I think it's Heat Wave. Is my go-to. That's
a bullshit one.
Once I finally upgraded and mastered use the ability points and upgrade and mastered on that, it pretty much most basic enemies, it'll take off at least half their health before I even start. And
run
then
into the middle of them and hit Cyclone and just watch them all die.
So I'm with Garuda's powers so far, which is all I've got. I'm another one for Gouge. I generally would, because that just, I think it's about 20-25 hits in one move, which is great.
Beautiful.
But yeah, look, honestly, I have not played a video game this much in the last 2 days in a very long time. I played about 7.5 hours, and I only got the game yesterday at 10:30 a.m. So, and then I did the install, which took 2 hours. The install and update patch, which took about hour and a half, 2 hours. Because there was a day one patch.
It's a 90. So the game to install on your hard drive is 92 gigabytes.
Yeah.
And then obviously the patch is like 300 megabytes, but obviously it's just because obviously it's 92 gigabyte download install.
Yeah. But there was a very small day one patch. I think it was only a couple of gigs. So
yeah,
nothing like Jedi Survivor was. But that's just
Because even the patch was just to do some small things like there was apparently some like if you did it on performance.
Yeah.
There were some bits where it wasn't 60, so they'll just basically patch it so it was 60. It was also to turn down some of the motion blur that you can do that they put in on certain moves. Like if I didn't even notice that, and like in the demo I did not notice there was too much motion blur, but he was spinning around, but apparently like people said, oh, it's too blurry. So they said, okay,
well, apparently there are some people who are reporting during some of the major battles when you're going full on that their PlayStations are actually overheating. So they're working on a patch for that as well. It has caused a few of the initial batch of PlayStations to shut down.
Yeah, so if you see some of those, I'm not going to spoil because Jamie will enjoy this game. Like those again, it's really funny. When like I told Jamie, I said, "Oh, Jamie, you like." It's a tradition. It's a fantasy story. It's got it's everything that we've always discussed in terms of when we try to even when we pitch ideas as we don't know writing. This is the exact story that we would sort of want to make, and it's also the guy who made it also did Dragon's Dogma, and then Jamie because he likes to be a little sarcastic every now and then. Goes, "Oh, do you get to fight giant monsters?" I'm like, oh, 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 oh. I'm not. That's all I'm gonna say to that because it's just really funny that like he's like going, "Oh, what did you find fighting giant monsters?" I'm going, "Oh, Jamie, oh, Jamie, oh, Jamie."
But what I like is from the first moment that once you hit new game, you're immediately thrust into an Ekion battle between Ifrit and Phoenix, and you don't know what the hell's going on.
Yep.
And I like how, and this was the same with the demo. It was like it rounded it off the prologue kind of thing, where you actually got the story behind that, where it actually made sense of what was happening. And man, seriously, the graphics on this thing, you can understand why it's only on PS5.
It is like it's incredible. Like, and there's some like, and even more so, just the I guess they call it lack of load time, where you basically like you press start, you press continue, you load your save, and then you're there, and it's like going, what? I like it literally just it just pops in.
It's the way that it goes from cutscene. I was saying this to Steph today. How it goes from cutscene to actual play. There's no difference.
No,
you know what I mean. It literally just zooms out a bit, and that's it. There's no back in the day, like she was saying when she would watch her brother play like Final Fantasy VII or Final Fantasy VIII. Where you'd get the cutscene in awesome, like realistic, semi-realistic weight, and then it'd go back to like the pixelated
dude.
And when she was watching me play it a bit today, she's like, it's just so seamless. It's like the cutscenes in the game are just one and the same, and I think that's what we've come to expect. And Square Enix have done a fantastic job at making that. That you can't tell what's an actual cutscene and what's part of the real game.
It's so funny to think that Square Enix is the same company that also made Forsaken, which is like it's also going, what happened there? It's like you, but having said that, it's different teams. So this is Creative Unit 3, which is like now they're like the fucking rock stars of like Square Enix.
Oh well, look, I don't. If this doesn't secure the future for Final Fantasy games for at least the next 10 years. This game, the sales of it already are through the roof. Like there are people who did pre-order it that are not getting their copies in Australia at the moment because
it's just too like it's like to put like one thing that's always been fun and this is actually like really insane when you think about it. So Final Fantasy has always been a Japanese RPG, right?
Yes.
But they would obviously they release it into Western audiences, and then like because of how the mouth moves, like I guess they call this in anime as well the flap count, where basically they know they have the full translation of the Japanese, but because of how many times their mouth actually moves, they have to sort of like summarize it, cut it down to actually fit it into the mouth movements itself.
Yeah.
And this was even more like prevalent in say FF10, where Yuna's character constantly would say height in Japanese, like say when she says height, but then there's no translation, there's no like yes is the word in translation, but it doesn't really work. So then Yuna was constantly going okay. And it was really annoying, but it's also going, well, there's not much you can do about that because that's like I understand why they're translating that way.
Exactly. Yeah.
But this is the first time where the Japanese team wrote the script. They handed it then to the Western team and said, please read this, and then change it or rewrite it to like with wording to make sure that it fits in English. So they read it back and they reread it, and then they got back together and they read through both scripts, and they kept obviously what they thought worked for both ones. But then they prioritized in development the even the way that when the characters speak, the mouth movements is prioritized in English. So then some people actually even said in Japan, they said, oh, it looks weird a little bit when they're speaking. The creator said to the Japanese, play with English with Japanese subtitles to get the full experience. And you listen to the main character Ben Starr, like that is just voice acting at its absolute highest.
Yeah.
You also then see the main character that I played, the Jill, and then you watch them, the chemistry between them, and you go, they've never set foot in the room together when they did these voice recordings, and yet Amber Heard can't do chemistry with Jason Momoa on the set. Like, obviously, like, it's just completely
because I'm only up to that stage now. We're seeing their interaction, but I must say my favorite by far is Sid.
The
gentleman that does
love Sidolphus.
I actually just Googled him earlier today. Because, as I said, Steph said she thought she knew the voice, and his repertoire. I mean, there isn't a British TV show.
It's not been on. I know, right?
But I'm listing it off, and I'm like, oh, he was in Coronation Street, he was in The Bill, he was in Heartland, he was in Waking the Dead. He was in all these major British, and then he was in Game of Thrones as well.
Yeah.
He's been in a lot of things and movies, and he's done a lot of game work too.
Yep. But if you need a Yorkshire accent, and this is what I think is amazing. That I think it's maybe that the creator said, and I've actually sort of started picking up as well, where each region of they picked a sort of dialect, an accent, and so when you hear people talk, you sort of understand where they're from. They're from north, south of the continent, and when you forget how that much helps with like building a world where like normally with Final Fantasy they're going basically was like, which voice actor with like high voice actor, what voice do you want to do? I'm gonna do American. Everyone else is doing British. F you, okay? And then you watch it again, and all of a sudden it's like, hi. It's like going, that's really out of place in this entire like setting. Like, what the hell's going on? And then the villains are always like with their beautiful British accents, like going, "Oh yes, I'm." And then the hero's like, "I will stop you. I'm, I'll defend the mother." It's like going, "Oh, what the hell are you doing?" This one we don't have that. We have absolutely we have a smorgasbord of British accents to enjoy.
Oh, definitely. And it's so refreshing to hear that in a high fantasy game. But yeah, I can't wait for Jamie to experience it all.
And there are some journalists who don't like it, and we've all long known that those game journalists don't play games. That's been complaining about things like going, how come there's more diversity in the fantasy world? And they say, and the creator said, we wrote the world law, and our tenets were never to break the world law. This is he was very clear, as every single writer and creator should not break their own law. And they were saying that's not a good enough reason. You should have broke your world law. It's like going, shut up. Anyway, but they also complained that like they felt that the female characters were too central, like they were too man focused. I'm going like, if you talk about Benedicta, basically, no, that's just a girl using all of her tools in the tool bag to get what she wants. I'm going, if you think that's just her being man-focused, you completely misunderstood that character. Because that's just a chick basically going, I've got all the tools, and also I could transform into a god. Like, it's just loved her character, just amazing. Like, just so cool. So she said, like, that's a villain. That is a true, like, just.
Oh, definitely. definitely. Obviously we could probably have a discussion in a little while's time once, people have had a chance to play it, and
Hmm.
we can discuss some of the more gut-wrenching and
Nuances.
heart. Yeah.
Because I've seen some reviewers say like, "Oh, after my 120 hours of playing, I feel like I feel like there was some things to do." Am I going? Ah, warms my heart. Warms my heart. Anyway,
Jamie, you still with us?
Jamie,
Yeah, I'm back. What's going on?
look, we could continue for hours on some of the more like some of the more minute details of the story, but even of the gameplay elements. But you know what, Jamie, there was a trailer that dropped this week that I think you want to talk about.
Yeah.
Really? Okay. What? A few trailers dropped.
Podcast host Jamie Bryan, everyone.
No, well,
I think
I have other things prepared. You're like a trailer dropped. I'm like, what? Okay.
I thought you wanted to. Oh, sorry. You're right. No improv. Go by the script. Sorry. Go.
What were you?
Read us your agenda.
Was it Craven? Was it that you
Yes,
wanted to talk about?
I thought
I haven't watched it. I haven't watched the trailer yet.
I thought you'd want to talk about it.
Yeah, well, I refuse to because it's not.
It's
From the
not.
bits that I've
Look,
seen, it's not Craven.
it looks like a good movie, but that's not Craven. That's my words.
Everybody hates Craven.
And Russell Crowe's in it.
That's so
and
Craven.
he sounds great. Russian Crow, Russian Crow,
Bro.
and he's doing the Russian accent. He goes,
I'll just get my Craven from Spider-Man 2, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. I can't wait for that.
That is Craven.
The only place they can get Craven right is video games. Because they even did, I think, in the third Spider-Man movie, when the game version came out of that, they had Craven in that. And even that Craven was amazing.
It's almost like if you want good storytelling, you have to go to video games. Interesting. Interesting.
Oh, yeah, except for, except for Star Wars, because you don't give Star Wars your money, despite how good
Oh, look,
stories are.
it's tough. I'm not saying it's not tough to
Look,
stand on a principle.
Well, look, in 2031, when you finish playing Final Fantasy 16 and Ryan actually gets back to playing, Jedi Survivor, you can lend it, and then you won't be forking out your money for it.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying. But I just, all this.
Now, Jay, sorry, you have things you want to discuss on agenda?
Well, we've got. Actually, we'll do this first. Your thoughts. I want your thoughts on a recent announcement.
Okay.
There was a recent announcement today that Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg have agreed to an MMA fight.
Now, is this legit? I did
Yes,
see this
it
online.
is.
Is it legitimate?
It is legitimate.
Oh, God.
Now, here's the thing. When Elon Musk floors Zuckerberg, will he do what he did last time, which was complain to the ref and have them do the refight?
I don't see Elon Musk going for that.
I know. The only time I've ever seen Mark Zuckerberg fight was he was in a local tournament. He lost. He then went to the ref. And he won this time, quote unquote, and he got both the first and second place medals. So I'm just saying, like, I don't think this comes out well for Zuckerberg because he doesn't seem like he seems like a bit of a I don't think he'll take losing well.
No. Now, do you think it's going to be a scenario of One Punch Man? Elon Musk is just going to go.
No, look. Mark Zuckerberg should go in as a favorite. He's clearly fitter than Elon Musk because Musk doesn't and he clearly he does actually train he does train in martial arts. But having said that, everyone's favorite will obviously be everyone will be rooting for Elon Musk because it's just that he's just the favorite and it's an underdog story when he wins this. Yeah, underdog. It's funny underdog story. Like 200 million billionaire guy wins a fight in a heartwarming underdog tale. It's like going, I don't think you understand what underdog tale is, but
there's just one thing I want out of this. You know how when Elon Musk bought Twitter and then he stopped off at a hardware store on the way in so he could carry a kitchen sink so he could say, let that sink in. Funny. I want him to go into that MMA fight, right? And Chris, you're a fan of Warriors announcing what they're gonna do when when they when they fight. Well, Elon Musk has to go into that ring and go Zucker punch. That's all I want from that scenario.
I think there's gonna be a lot of money made on this fight. Easy money. Look, I'm gonna say now. I think the fight's gonna be Musk by decision, not by knockout. I think I don't think Zuckerberg's pride will allow him to be knocked out by Musk. But again, you see that like whilst Zuckerberg is like fitter, he's also a skinny little twig, and in punching, weight does matter, and Elon's got the weight on him. I think Elon might actually hurt him with a few hits. I think Elon's got the heavy hands in the fight.
Yeah.
Oh, and you know what? He's from South Africa, so he knows he knows how to scrap in a fight. So you know he like, even though he's from affluent for South Africa, he scrapped back in the day. So I'm going, you might just unleash the scrappy fighter. So you know what? I'm talking myself into a Musk by TKO. So I think they'll call the fight once Musk lands one of the hits on the chin, and you watch Zuckerberg like start stumbling. The ref will go, "Up, start. That's it."
Any thoughts on the fight, Ryan?
Yeah, I've got Roman Reigns by knockout.
Look,
I think it's just a publicity thing, and neither of them can fight. Look, if Elon Musk wants to impress me, he can go in and perform a fatality, and that will be his supervillain origin story. But yeah, look, I think it's just let's face it, they're them challenging each other to a fight in the news at the moment is not the strangest thing a billionaire's done lately.
And you know what'll happen? They'll be like, and by rules, we all get to choose a champion.
Yeah, exactly.
I would love for them to agree on the fight, because they basically are the ruling elite. They then pick champions and pick like actual fighters and just so you a decent cage match.
All right, this is what we're gonna do. Chris, you're gonna choose Musk. Ryan, you're gonna choose Zuckerberg, a fighter for them.
No, that has to be a real fighter.
Yeah. Oh well. Okay, we'll do one round of real fighters and then one round of mock fighters.
Well, obviously Elon Musk has the power, the wealth. He's gonna get John Jones to fight for him, and because he's gonna get John Jones to fight for him, whoever doesn't matter who Zuckerberg picks, you're gonna lose against John Jones. Like, all right,
Ryan, what's your pick?
Mark Zuckerberg is going to get the junkie that lives down the road from me. I don't know. I don't follow too much MMA,
so John Jones versus a bum. Okay, that's gonna be a quick fight.
Well, you never know.
A junkie hopped up on meth and ice. There you go. There's enough of them around here. We can pick one up. But no, he punched out a mascot the other day, so maybe Conor McGregor.
Here's something that they want to, Ryan's not really a fight.
I only like the fake fighting, not the real fighting.
So let me put this in terms to understand. John Jones, or Bones Jones, has had 29 total fights in his life. He has won 27 of those fights. The only loss he's carrying on, he's got one no contest because they said he was on drugs, which was bullshit. But so they took the fight away from him. The only loss he has on his professional MMA career was a disqualification because he was elbowing the guy in the head too much, and the ref called the fight because he was hurting his opponent too badly. Even though in my mind those elbows were legal, the guy was in bad shape, so the guy they called the DQ because Bones Jones was killing another man. That is the only loss on this man's professional record. When the only loss is because the ref felt bad for the opponent who's getting killed, you're a fight. Even more so, during the riots in America, there was a moment where some young, aspiring Antifa types who were going to destroy a city, and a tall, strong, strapping black man walked up and said, "Pick up what you just threw down," and told them to do, and they looked and saw who it was, which was Bones Jones, and they promptly went home because they realized that was a fight that they were not going to win. They knew who he was. Having said that, I honestly think if he actually hit them and killed them, he probably would be charged with murder with a deadly weapon because the dude is a machine. Like, I think that's but again, Bones Jones is the champion, and obviously I do believe that Elon would, if there was a fight. Welcome to MMA Today now. If there was a fight, absolutely, Elon's going to go for the best fighter out there.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, you know what time is. You know what time it is for now. Our favorite segment. Correcting IGN.
Oh yeah.
I got now. This one's personal. This one's personal.
Ooh.
This is the Spider-Man movies ranked from worst to best.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, so this includes the Holland, Garfield, and Maguire.
Yeah, and Spider-Verse.
Oh, okay.
And they threw in, I don't know why, but probably to fill it out more, they threw in like his appearances in
really?
I'm going to ignore them because that's, you know,
Yeah.
him in a Captain America movie for 20 minutes doesn't count, you know.
Yeah. Not at all.
Now, coming in dead last, which I wholeheartedly disagree with, is The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Nope.
Ooh.
Not at all.
I disagree because this gave us one of the most comic book accurate moments.
Yep.
And for me, that saved that entire film.
And you're talking about the death of Gwen Stacy?
The death of Gwen Stacy.
No, look. Regardless of what you say about the film, the villain choices, the why is Rhino a robot tank rather than again?
Yeah.
Well, that was more off the Ultimate Universe, because in the Ultimate Universe, Rhino was actually a tank.
But we all know. I know they're doing Ultimate, but we all know what version of Rhino we want to see. But that's a separate thing. But you're right. The spider web that looked like a hand, as you know, the inevitability of that moment, was just beautiful, and that is the longest payoff. For then obviously in the new movie to have that moment paid off was just mwah. So wrong. No, I agree. Wrong.
We'll go through this, and then I've actually made a list of all my how I rank it, and it is very difficult for me to rank it when I realize that they're all good in their own, like in a certain way. They're not absolutely woeful. Then they put Spider-Man 3, which is my bottom one.
That's my bottom one too.
Because again, ruined by the forced inclusion of Venom.
But we got one of the most iconic dance scenes that has ever.
Really. I would more say the best thing about that movie was Flint Marko.
Yeah.
That was awesome, but that dance scene was just again.
But you got to remember that movie gave us the Night Surfer. Well, I mean the Harry Night Surfer.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Now look, dancing aside, you're right. It's just
yeah. But again, all terrible movies have wonderful things. Because one of the things that I laughed the most at that movie was like Rent.
Yeah,
like Rent, and then you get all the memes.
Oh, then also the memes of Franco eating the pie and like going so good.
yeah.
Meme of a movie. And again, if in Spider-Man 2, if now that he has the black suit, if he doesn't dance whilst walking down New York City, they are honestly, they have failed in life.
It's probably like an Easter egg moment.
No. Again, it's important for the character because whilst Peter thinks he looks cool, and he's arrogant, he looks, he's off the rails. That is an amazing scene. So again,
but he's definitely my number 3. My final, sorry, bottom movie.
Yeah.
Right, Jamie, continue the next one.
Coming in is The Amazing Spider-Man, which again I wholeheartedly disagree.
I enjoyed the first one.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And again, You all know my problems with the movie.
Yeah, and again, it's minor. You know, it's
Yeah. How did he get again?
Yeah.
Where did he learn to make a costume like that with screen
Yeah.
printing?
Yeah.
Why did he ship the web? How did he buy the experimental web from Oscorp and ship it to his house? Again.
Yeah. Minor.
But then we got a really I really enjoyed Reese Ifrans as the lizard. Dr. Kirk Connors in this one. I
Oh,
thought
he was
that
great. Yeah.
And what this that Spider-Man got was the sarcasm when the mugger pulls a knife and goes, "Oh no, my one weakness, small knives."
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and it's the first time we got the very witty,
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And clearly that version, those two movies were based out of the Ultimate Universe because they kept his parents were him and they were working on the formula for to cure cancer, which is obviously straight out. That's how they got the Venom. That's how they got the Venom suit in the Ultimate Universe. I enjoyed it. I really maybe that's because the Ultimate Spider-Man universe has a very, 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 very big part in my place in my heart because I absolutely love it.
It loses that series loses points for me for who they're going to get to play MJ. So again, that's just small minor. That's not MJ. So just minor.
Yeah, you don't know because you never saw it.
No, we saw pictures of it. I'm looking and going, that's
you saw pictures. You saw pictures.
That was not MJ. That was just I don't know what that was.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Next is Spider-Man: Far From Home, which again I disagree. That being so low, that was again great villain.
Wait, what? Why is that so? That movie was that movie was
dope. Yeah,
tops.
And when I put my list together, I realized that the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies progressively got better.
Yes, that movie is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
That movie that oh my goodness, what the hell?
And then Across the Spider-Verse.
I haven't seen it yet, so I can't comment on that.
Okay.
And then Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Okay. See, that was one of my favorite Tom Holland ones because maybe that's because I'm Michael Keaton. I thought he played the Vulture really well.
Oh, fantastic! Then number 4 is Spider-Man: First Tobey Maguire.
Yep.
Okay.
Then coming in at 3rd is Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, so that should be higher.
That should be way higher. That gave us one of the greatest songs of all time, Gifts and Curses. And one of the greatest the only Doc Octopus that could ever be in any movie. There's no other 100%. Again, there is no other Doc Ock than that. There's one Doc Ock.
He is Otto Octavius Alfred Molina. He really is.
Perfect.
Then 2nd is Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Okay. I can agree with that.
And number 1 is Spider-Man: Into the Spider-Verse.
It's a great movie, but no.
Yeah, don't be all. That's just okay. No, that's just
but
dumb.
You haven't watched it, Chris.
No, again, I've seen enough.
No, you haven't.
I saw enough.
You watched little bits.
Well, I have actually seen it several times, and I don't think it deserves to be in the number 1 spot.
Oh, 100%.
Again,
100%.
I could see it was so bad I couldn't get through the movie.
No, I disagree. But all right. Do you want to hear my list?
All right.
From worst to best, or best to worst?
Let's go worst to best.
Worst to best. Coming in at number 10, can you guess what it is?
Spider-Man 3.
Boom! Yes. Right at the bottom.
Oh, no. Okay.
The cut where there's no dancing, and Chris would agree.
I can agree with that.
And I want to say when I go through this list from this point on, I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just saying this is how I ranked them.
Yeah.
I enjoyed all these movies that follow.
Yep.
Number 9, the first Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire.
Yep, that's me as well. Yep.
Okay.
The only thing
remember Spider-Man 1.
Yeah, the only thing that saved that from being last for me was Willem Dafoe was a great Green Goblin.
And as something of a scientist myself, I do enjoy.
I still stand by the fact that you do not need to give a man like Willem Dafoe a mask to play the Green Goblin because
and we understand this in the hit song from Weird Al Yankovic, "Swing Us a Web, You're the Spider-Man."
Yeah,
he mentions that he looks scarier with the mask off.
Yeah, that
You know?
that wins points for Willem Dafoe as
Mhm.
Norman Osborn, but loses points for the bad
Yeah.
costume.
Oh,
And
perfect.
Macy Gray.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was so bad.
Right.
Betsy Gray. What happened to her? Okay, coming in number 8, Across the Spider-Verse.
Okay.
Mhm.
So haven't seen it, so I can't comment on that one yet.
It's yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
Then I put The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Okay,
Okay.
I can agree with that.
Okay. Okay.
Then Homecoming.
Okay, maybe yeah.
Then
Okay,
I put Into the Spider-Verse.
A bit high for me, but all right. All right. All right.
Bit hard. That's mid-range, Chris. That's mid-range. Then it is Far From Home.
Good film.
Great film. Then I put The Amazing Spider-Man, the Andrew Garfield one.
Mhm.
So that's my top 3. That's my third favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's Spider-Man 2.
Yep.
Ooh.
Okay. That's a fair rank.
Because that movie is phenomenal. And it has Jeff Winger in it from Community.
And it has an amazing Yellow Card song. That's just absolutely on fire.
That's only on the soundtrack. It's not actually in the movie. Just so
Yeah,
you know.
because they're dumb. But then again, amazing song. Just that movie.
What
Even
about
though
this?
it's never
What
in the
about
movie.
this? What about the Sum 41 rap song? Do you remember that?
Mm.
I think that was actually the first movie, but
Yeah, it was the first movie because I
rock.
had
It's
I
what
had
we're
like
all
the
about.
I had like the I think it was like the super duper collector's edition on DVD, which came with
Yeah.
like 6 different, and one of them was the soundtrack. And
Yeah.
if you put the CD in your DVD player, it will play the film clips because it
Yeah.
had that one by Corey Taylor, Bother, which I love, and
Yeah.
then it had the Sum 41 song with Zach Wilde from Slayer on
Yeah.
guitar in a rap
Yeah.
song. I'm like, come
Yeah.
on, dude.
And
Again,
then didn't Nickelback do a song for it? We need a
Yeah, yeah.
hero to save us.
yes, but
Yeah,
nothing beats
Knuckleback. Yeah.
nothing beats that I see her face at every punch I take and
Yeah.
every
Yeah, you do know
bone
that this
break.
is an obscure song for most people, Chris, right?
No, okay. Honestly, if it's an obscure song for them, they've missed out on one of the greatest songs ever written because
they've only-
it was just perfect. It was
and they've-
just mwah.
And they've only ever played Yellow Card has only ever played that song live once.
That's again. That's like again. I
Yeah.
can't even think of a decent analogy because of how like how poor that is. That would be like
But
again,
that's like Bon Jovi only playing Living on a Prayer once.
yeah, exactly. That'd be like if Kareem Abdul-Jabbar did his skyhook shot and went, "That's amazing. I'm never using that again." It's just like
But you'd
he's
always
11,000
remember it.
points says otherwise, but because he knew that you got to keep doing the skyhook.
Yeah.
You got to keep playing that song. Oh, okay, anyway, Jim, what's your top film?
Top
let's get it.
film is No Way Home.
Of course, and the end of the MCU. Like, what a perfect way to end the
Yeah.
a perfect way to end the MCU and wrap up
Yeah.
the MCU completely. There's no other film. This is the final. What a perfect ending of the MCU. And we got what Ryan wanted. Goblin. Not only did not have the hood, like the mask. He wore a hood with goggles. It was just it was amazing.
And a yellow Electro.
Yeah.
A true Electro.
True Electro.
And one of the saddest and man tier moments of your life, with Aunt May. And I was like going, hot Aunt May. Who doesn't like hot Aunt May? Like, it's just and that beautiful scene, just absolutely just done perfectly. Oh my goodness. You can't script a better film than that film. That film was absolute again. And typical Spider-Man, he made a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than taking the easy way out, he takes the brutally most punishing way possible out. We're basically out to fix everything. Everyone will forget me.
Yep.
And then he doesn't complain. He moves on. He somehow gets a bank account and somehow gets like an apartment. Not sure how, if no one knows who he is, but that's a small.
Oh
small
well, no.
minor
Well,
they would forget that Peter Parker was Spider-Man. That's what it was. It wasn't that Peter Parker that people wouldn't know who Peter Parker was because it was that.
No, because it was to forget Peter Parker because otherwise he's the people from school would still know him as hey Peter like.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, true.
Yeah, it was to forget Peter Parker. So
but however, computers work differently. So it's probably still in the system, and they'd probably go, "Who's and
Yeah, but either
still
way,
have a bank account."
but either way, truly just like again. It's so tough to see Mummy and Daddy fight with Sony and Marvel basically like fighting, like because we're not gonna get another one. And honestly, like if that is and obviously it sounds like it also sounds like Tom Holland's basically just overacting, which is fine. He's been acting.
No, he's taking a year off. No, but they've mentioned they're doing a fourth Spider-Man.
Yeah, but like he's not like again. They've also mentioned they're doing a Rey movie. Do we really think that's gonna happen? Do we really think that's gonna happen?
We don't talk Star Wars here, remember? Okay, so
I'm
move along.
I'm just pointing out.
Did Kathleen Kennedy announce that they're doing a fourth Spider-Man movie? No. Okay.
But also,
they probably are.
I don't know. Like, I kind of don't think I like again. And let me just say this: ranking the Spider-Man movies is like basically
it's very difficult.
It's like ranking the models at the Victoria's Secret show. What like who like the bottom is still the top upper echelon of models. Like there's like 1 to 19. You're like no, you're like that's still that like the bottom is still fine. It's the same thing with Spider-Man. It is a top tier film franchise. Even the worst one is still better than many hundreds of films out there. So I can understand like ranking them is not very much a best or worst, it's more like your preference. Having said that, IGN is wrong, like completely utterly wrong, putting Into the Spider-Verse #1. And again, I get it that they do dumb things to get clicks because that's how they make money. So I understand. So I understand the concept, but if you like again, No Way Home during the supposed lockdowns made $1.9 billion.
Yeah.
So again, all these other films releasing at the same time, going, it's the lockdowns that is affecting our profit. Really? Is it? Because
bad movies.
No Way Home didn't seem to mind.
Yeah.
It's like it's the lockdown. It's the lingering effect of lockdown, which I know. It's like going, okay, tell that to Mario, tell that to Spider-Man. Pretty sure that they
tell that to Top Gun.
Tell that to Top Gun. Pretty sure it's just your terrible film. So, but having said that, yes. Now, all right. Here's a tough question. Rank the Spider-Man.
The Spider-Man. Oh, that's easy.
Or Peter Spider-Man.
But and this just comes down to preference.
Peter Spider-Man. Preference, yeah, no, okay. Give me a preference.
And I just want to say this is very, very tight. It is very close. When I say this isn't ranking the Batman and saying, look, George Clooney,
George Clooney's down the bottom, Val Kilmer near the top. I get it.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. That sort of thing. Andrew Garfield #1, hands down.
Ooh.
See, and are you going who because of the movie quality or performance?
No, I agree. I agree 100%.
100%.
Okay.
Andrew Garfield, he looks like he's been ripped out of the comic book pages. There's a reason that when they made the Spider-Man game on PS4, that Spider-Man hauntingly looks a lot like Andrew Garfield.
I've played that game recently. He does not. He looks a lot like Tom Holland.
Well, okay. Well, he sounds a lot like Andrew Garfield. There you go.
He looks like Tom Holland now with the PS5 update.
Yeah, that's the joke he's making.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, then it's Tom Holland.
Final Fantasy.
Then it's Tom Holland, and then it's Tobey
I agree.
Maguire.
I agree 100%.
And Tom Holland and Tobey Maguire are very close. Like that's.
It's the same for me. Garfield, Holland, and then Maguire.
And then the dude from the 60s.
Oh, yeah.
Who was that Supanova, by the way? I didn't even realize it.
Oh, God.
Look, honestly, you're right. It's the big three. And you can't. There's no wrong answer on that one. Like they're all very good Spider-Man.
Yeah.
We all enjoy Spider-Man, and they're all very good Spider-Man. I'm doing this now just to annoy Ryan because I know he gets annoyed when I say Spider-Man.
Peter Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, attorney at law, Spider-Man.
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 Yeah.
Attorney at law, Spider-Man.
And
See
next week we'll be ranking
he will win. He's Spider-Man. Look out! Here comes the Spider-Man.
Next week
we'll be We'll be ranking Arthur Aquaman.
Arthur Aquaman, judge, jury.
like two of them?
Arthur Aquaman, he's a marine biologist.
Marine biologist. No, but he's a marine biologist from Avatar 2. It's like going, oh, I love these animals harvesting the brain, harvesting the brain. We look at rejoicing, harvesting the brain. They're going, oh, real marine biologist you are.
Now let's flip to DC for a second on ranking people. But Ryan, are you up to date with Superman and Lois?
No, I've got 2 episodes to go, 11 and 12.
Oh no, you haven't seen Lex Luthor yet, have you?
No, but I know the guy.
You haven't seen.
No.
We'll wait till next time. We'll wait till you watch it, and then we'll talk about it.
Are we gonna rank the Superman now?
Superman. Clark Superman.
Oh yeah, Reeves, Cavill, and then whoever's. Well, I don't. Yeah. See, I don't know if Welling was Superman because he didn't don the cape.
Season 10, he donned it.
Yeah, for like 5 seconds, went Louie.
But that still makes him Superman, and that.
Okay, well, in that case, then it means that Nicolas Cage is Superman because they filmed the whole movie and they never aired it. That Nicolas Cage was Superman.
You obviously haven't. I'm not gonna spoil that for you. But yes, Nicolas Cage is Superman.
What do you mean you're not going to spoil that?
Check out the Flash spoilers. I'm not going to spoil that for you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, I want to watch that, but only because of Keaton.
Yeah.
Like,
apparently it's a really just
bad
mid movie at best. Like,
yeah.
But look, if it gives me Keaton as again, I'll still go and see it.
But apparently it's not even a very good Keaton either. Apparently it's just a bit I think the studio was expecting like No Way Home kind of like money, but no.
No, it's because people have essentially just given up on DC until
but some people put it like Keaton Batman was the 80s. That's too far. That's too far back. Like now, if they had Bale's Batman in this new Flash film, then we'd be cooking some cash.
Yeah,
but that's our Batman. That's our Batman.
I'm pulling up the list of actors that have played Superman.
There's George Reeve, who played him in the TV show Adventures of Superman in the 40s.
He had sweat stains in his costume. Under his underarms.
So in costume, costume.
No, he had sweat stains. He sweated.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Oh, wow. Nicolas Cage is ranked on this list.
Mm-hmm.
Because they did make the full film, they just didn't release it.
There you go.
Yep.
Wow, but they've got all the cartoon ones. I didn't realize that John Krasinski was.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Now I like Brandon Routh. I'm actually one of those fans that actually did like the Brandon Routh Superman.
Yep.
Really?
They again filling in Christopher Reeve's shoes is difficult.
Oh, 100%. Because he was the one after it. What, the first one after it, wasn't
it? Yeah, and he was meant to play basically. It was a continuation, so he was playing Christopher Reeve's Superman.
Yeah,
after
being away for 5 years.
Yeah, and so he had to look the same. They had to talk the same. And honestly, I think they did a pretty decent job of that. Like I thought that was quite good. Obviously Ryan is a big fan of Tyler Hodgson, which obviously who isn't. Like he's
fantastic, and I'm not saying
that is a fine Superman. That is an absolutely fine Superman. I prefer Tom Welling over Tyler, and it's not because
you've only watched one season and you begged me to watch it, and I am up to season 3, and you're like, watch it, and then now you're like,
because Smallville's a big part of my childhood.
Yeah,
so again,
it was, exactly. It definitely was a big part of our childhood.
It gave us Lifehouse. It gave us these great songs.
I'm pretty sure it didn't give you Lifehouse. I think
yes, it did. It gave us everything. It gave us the song. It gave it that was the unofficial theme song.
And all of the people.
No, that's you and me. That they gave us everything.
They played that on there though.
They played all Lifehouse's songs on there, but again, everything was the you're all I want, you're all I need. That was the unofficial Lana Lang and Clark Kent theme song. It was just again, and I do feel bad, like when Lois Lane came out, that everyone was like, "Boo! No, we want love!" Like, "Boo, boo!" And she was a fine Lois Lane.
Yeah,
Like, she was a fine,
Erica Durant, I think her
yeah,
name was,
yeah,
but yeah,
and
really good.
fantastic. Loved it, but obviously,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I was still feeling from the hurt that they injected Lana Lang with kryptonite, so they couldn't be together for like forever. Like, I was like, it was just like, I felt the pain. Like, I was just like, anyway.
There's been quite a few Supermans.
There have been quite a few. Oh, Dean Cain.
Yeah, Dean Cain.
Why? Oh, you know what they're saying? Apparently, Dean Cain was at Supernova a few years back, and the line was out the door. Like, everyone was like, Dean Cain!
Yeah, because it's Lois and Clark.
But it doesn't make sense. Like, I remember that show being terrible.
It was terrible.
It was horrible.
That's not the point.
And then no, but then that gag that Family Guy do made no sense to me. Like, he's like sitting Dean Cain in a park, sitting on a bench, and he's like, "Is that Dean Cain sitting on that bench?" Just like no one cares, you know. But apparently they do in Australia.
Again, it's Dean Cain. Like, come on, like,
yeah, there's a lot of Supermans that I don't even know.
Yeah, because they're all from like cartoons. They've done like yeah.
No, I've pulled up the live action ones, but like, who is John Hames?
Who? Sorry?
John Hames Newton?
Well, who was he Superman in?
Superboy TV show.
Oh, okay, yeah, fair enough.
Like, I haven't even heard of that. Obviously Christopher Reeves, but before Christopher Reeves, George Reeves, which is
George Reeves.
Were they related? Or were they just hiring Reeves?
No, sorry.
Well, his last name's Reeves. You'll do.
Actually, it's George Reeve without an S, and it's Christopher Reeves with an S.
So is that where they got the idea for Alien and then Aliens? You know,
George Reeve was in. I think it was The Adventures of Superman back in the 40s.
Mm-hmm.
George in black and white.
Yeah. No, but the very, very first Superman, who does not look like Superman at all, Kirk Allen.
Okay.
1948.
Yeah, that's just a dude in a weird costume. Like,
it literally looks like someone's got a skivvy, like a Star Trek skivvy, and they just sewed an S on it. You know, it's like, it's so bad. But look, I'll always have a soft spot for Reeves.
Yeah, Christopher Reeves is a good Superman, and obviously, look, Henry Cavill is a fine Superman.
Oh no, like he's fantastic.
He is probably one of the strongest Supermen around.
Will you please say Superman?
I was waiting for it to come. I was waiting.
I'm tired. I'm tired because of Final Fantasy, but come on.
I was waiting for him to crack. Yeah. Yes.
There you go.
All right. I'm done now.
Okay. Well, I'm sure we'll talk about other.
Don't you do it. Don't you do it.
Other moons. Other moons.
Every character in tomorrow's D&D is going to have a mins at the end of it.
Yes, we are playing D&D.
My house.
We are playing D&D tomorrow, so maybe we should wrap this long episode up.
Yeah, that's true. We have to go to bed and 10 a.m. starts, and let's get some sleep.
Sleep? Off. I've got Final Fantasy to play.
I'm also going to play Final Fantasy. That's
All right, give me a second. Right.
Jamie, where can people find us with and send us spam, hate comments, or ranking of people's favorite heroes that end in man?
Okay, guys, you can send us an email to thetrueandthefictional@gmail.com. You can reach out on Instagram, stories_podcast. And if you want to support us, like our good friend and sponsor Rebecca Cassells does, link in the show notes. We do have a buy me a coffee if you want to, you can subscribe to the show for $1, as little as $1 a month, or you can jump on as a sponsor, and help get your work out there. Chris will literally say anything, as long as it's got a mun in it.
And I will even again. I will say anything, and I'll go as clean or as dirty as you want because I, like most people in my profession, will do anything for money.
Well, on that note, I'm going to leave you with Jamie's final thought. And this is for you, Chris, because you have a dog that loves you. Maybe dogs lick us because they know we have bones inside. Thank you. Thank you, guys. We'll catch you next time.
I'm sorry for that.
Oh, good one.